New Orleans was where we went on our first date. It was afternoon. We went to a IMAX. Dana Perino is a well-known TV personality who always seems calm and sure of herself, as if nothing could ever change her mind. But there is a whole different story behind the picture of a skilled reporter, a top Fox News host, and a former White House press secretary. A trip with a lot of stress and silent sacrifices, and challenges you didn't expect. Dana recently told everyone that her husband Peter McMahon has a major health problem. This shattered what many people thought was her perfect life. As a devoted wife who cares for her husband, and as a heavy worker in the demanding media business, Dana has been through a lot more than the tough times people usually think of when they think of her. What has kept Dana going through everything? Also, what is the secret to her incredible strength? Let's find out the shocking and deeply moving story of her trip. Dana Perino was born in Evanston, Wyoming, on May 9, 1972. Evanston is a quiet and beautiful town. Dana is very proud of the fact that her family has Italian roots thanks to her paternal great-grandparents, when she was only 2 years old. Even though she and her family moved to Denver, Colorado, she will always remember the summers she spent at her grandfather's ranch in Wyoming. Her grandfather was a tough-as-nails rancher who was sure that nothing could stop him. Dana's unwavering positivity fed her character and made her strong, which would later help her get through life's hardest problems. Leo Perino, her father, had a different effect on her. How important it is to think critically. Every night, Dana and her dad would read newspapers together and talk about the day's most important news stories. They never talked about only one side of the story. He pushed her to think deeply and see things from different points of view. He would often tell her, if you want a voice, make sure you fully understand it first. As Dana got bigger, she went to Colorado State University, Pueblo, to get her education, choosing to major in Spanish, political science, and mass communication. In addition to studying, she did a lot of hands-on work. At KTSC-TV, a Rocky Mountain PBS affiliate, she started to learn more about the tough world of television. She also worked the evening shift at KCCY-FM radio before dawn to 6 a.m., dealing with the stress and tiredness of juggling a hard job with her studies. Dana had even bigger plans, though. She then went to the University of Illinois Springfield to get her master's degree. While there, she worked as a daily reporter for WCIA, reporting from the Illinois State Capitol. Dana said, "There were times when I thought I couldn't go on, but those problems helped her get better at working under pressure, which became an important skill for her job." From a girl from a small Wyoming town with big dreams and bright eyes, Dana changed herself into a smart thinker who is always positive and has skills that can't be shaken. But this was just the start of her journey. What would happen when she stepped into the cutthroat world of politics in Washington, D.C.? That was where the real test was waiting for her. The story says that there will be more interesting turns coming up. She worked as a writer after getting her master's degree from the University of Illinois Springfield. It was clear that Dana Perino was determined when she entered the political world. This was more than just a job for her. It was a chance to make a difference. Even though Dana was working behind the scenes, she wasn't quiet at first. Their work set the stage for the great success that came next. In the beginning, Dana worked as an assistant to Colorado Congressman Scott McInnes. This was her first step into politics, where every choice, no matter how small, needed careful thought and planning. She quickly showed what she could do, and Congressman Dan Schaefer, who is the chairman of the House Commerce Subcommittee on Energy and Power, made her his press secretary. Dana was under a lot of pressure because she was in charge of high-profile problems like energy and electricity that were always being looked at by the public and the media. But these problems turned out to be chances for her to improve how she talks to people, handle private information, and get your ideas across clearly. When Schaefer said he was retiring in 1998, Dana was at a very important juncture. She chose not to look for another job in Washington, D.C., but to move to the UK with her husband, Peter McMahon. This change wasn't just in the area. It was a time for renewal and discovery. While she was away, not only did she get used to a new place, but she also got new insights about her life and work. But Dana's desire to get back into politics never went away. In November 2001, after 3 years, she went back to Washington, D.C., and became a spokeswoman for the U.S. Government of Justice. For this job, you needed to have good senses and be able to handle private information with care. From big tax cases and environmental problems to tax policies, Dana took on difficult issues that had big effects on the public. She not only did well in this job because she was tough and skilled, but she also used it as a stepping stone to move up in her career. After 2 years, Dana became the Deputy Communications Director for the White House Council on Environmental Quality (CQ). She got better at planning advice and managing messages during this very important time. To deal with often controversial environmental problems, the job required not only great communication skills but also sharp political sense. Dana quickly showed how good she was at what she did by coming up with smart ideas and earning the trust of the White House relations team. The early stages of Dana Perino's job show how determined and driven she is to go beyond her limits. She went from working behind the scenes to holding important national positions. But this was just the start. There are bigger problems and important steps forward to come. How could Dana keep making a name for herself in the tough world of politics? The answers are just starting to come together. The time Dana Perino spent in Washington, D.C., made her get better at what she does and build her reputation. But it was the events that came after that really made her famous in politics and the media. Not only has she done amazing things on her journey, but she has also had to make sacrifices, keep going, and push herself past her limits. In 2007, Dana had to make a big choice about her job. When Tony Snow, the White House press secretary, quit because he had cancer, she was given the huge job of taking over his duties. There was a lot of stress in the air. Dana thought about quitting because of the huge amount of work she had to do and the high expectations of her job. But Ed Gillespie, who was in charge of relations at the White House at the time, saw how talented she was and convinced her to stay. Her choice to stay wasn't just a job move. What a brave and duty-bound woman she was. Since Dana wasn't from an Ivy League family, she often felt the weight of demands even more. In a place full of high-level workers, she couldn't help but feel bad about herself because of where she went to school. Dana thought she had to work twice as hard to show her worth, even though she knew a lot and had a lot of experience. She used the fact that she thought she was weak as motivation to read a lot and do study to become the smartest person in the room. She knew that the only way to get her spot and do well in such a high-stakes job was to learn a lot about the subject and prepare well. As President George W. Bush's press secretary, Dana quickly learned that the job was much harder than she thought it would be. Her health got worse because she had to deal with constant meetings, emergencies, and a lot of work. After she quit her job, she had tinnitus for 2 years, which was caused by the constant worry. During her time in office, a trip to Iraq in 2008 was one of the most memorable times. Someone in the press threw a shoe at President Bush during a press meeting. While guarding the president, a Secret Service agent hit Dana in the eye with a microphone by accident, giving her a big bruise. Even though she was hurt, Dana kept doing her job, which shows how strong and skilled she is. After leaving the White House in 2009, Dana looked for new ways to use the important experience she had gained. With support from Sean Hannity, she moved on to Fox News, which was just as hard for her. At first, both her co-workers and watchers were skeptical of her. They saw her as the voice of the Republicans and doubted her ability to give a balanced view. But Dana quickly showed that she was more than just a past spokesperson. She turned out to be a smart, thoughtful, and calm observer. Dana became a regular on shows like The Five because of how sure of herself she was and how much she knew. The Daily Briefing and Newsroom in America. In addition to being a host, she brought a fair and interesting point of view to the shows she was on that made them more credible. Fox News quickly became an important place for shaping how people see her. Dana was successful in more than one way. She also fought hard for her when she found out that a male coworker in the same position made $5,000 more than her. Dana didn't say nothing. She spoke out against management and asked for fairness. Not only did her drive get her a pay raise, but it also sent a strong message about equal rights for men and women. Dana fought for more than just herself. She led the way for change in the media business. Along with her work successes, Dana made a name for herself as an author of books that inspire people. And the good news is, her first book, published in 2015, told the story of her work and the important lessons she had learned along the way. After that, in 2021, she wrote Everything Will Be Okay, which helped and inspired women who were looking for their own paths in life. These books not only showed how smart she was, but they also let Dana share her personal story, which inspired many people, especially young women who are trying to balance work and life. From her time under a lot of pressure in the White House to her work as a well-known host on Fox News to her fights for equality, Dana Perino has shown that success isn't luck, but hard work and drive. What strikes you most about her path to achieving her dreams, even though it got off to a bad start? Tell us how her story has changed your life. After years of hard work at the White House and overcoming tough problems, Dana Perino is known for being both a strong worker and a devoted and loving wife. Behind the calm, professional image she shows on TV is a very emotional love story with Peter McMahon, who has been her partner and supporter through thick and thin. However, because life is often contradictory, their relationship has also had a lot of problems, especially since Peter is sick. Dana and Peter met by chance on a flight in 1997, and their love story started. As they sat next to each other on the train from Denver to Chicago, they quickly became close through what seemed like harmless talks that turned out to be more important. Peter was 18 years older than Dana and had been married twice before. He lived in England at the time. Age gaps and Peter's past problems seemed like they would be impossible to overcome. But the couple didn't run away from these problems instead. They faced them honestly and with drive. They chose a simple, modest wedding just 11 months after they met and fell in love. For Dana and Peter, their relationship wasn't based on social norms, but on their deep love for each other. He became more than just a husband. He was a support for Dana and always made her feel safe. Even though she was under a lot of stress from White House press briefings and working at Fox News, life does throw problems at even the best relationships. Dana recently told Peter's family an extremely sad news about his serious illness. But even though she didn't give specifics, her words made it clear how hard this part of their lives was. Peter had always made her feel calm, but now he needed her help and care. Taking on the role of primary provider wasn't easy for Dana, especially since she had a busy job at Fox News. Still, out of love and devotion, she changed her schedule to put Peter's health first. In these times, more than sacrifice was needed. They put their friendship to the test at its core. Even though it was very hard on their emotions, the experience brought them closer and made them love each other more. Even though Peter was having health problems, he stayed positive, which gave Dana a lot of hope. They've both learned more about what love and connection are really about through these obstacles. Dana saw this trip as more than just a way to care for her father. It was also a chance to thank the man who had been there for her through all of life's ups and downs. The unwavering determination Dana has shown in her work naturally shows in her love for Peter. She has dealt with every challenge with strength and resilience, from the huge pressures of the White House to this very personal job. That same spirit shows in how she takes care of Peter and the lessons she has learned from these hard times. Real love isn't just shown during happy times, it's formed in the fire of life's hardest times. After more than 25 years of hard work in politics, media, and journalism, Dana Perino has made an indelible mark in her areas. She is also a powerful role model for young women. Her journey, which had both highs and lows, has turned her personal struggles into a drive to help others, especially women who are looking for direction in their lives and jobs. The Minute Mentoring Program is one of Dana's most well-known projects. Not at all like a normal place for mentoring. It shows how she lives her life. Small acts can lead to big changes. Dana knew that a lot of young women, especially those with busy lives, don't have time for long mentoring programs. Minute Mentoring gives you useful help in just a few minutes. It was created to be short and powerful. One of the participants said, "This project not only shows how much Dana wants to inspire others, but it also lives up to the morals her grandfather taught her. Keep the promises you make, be polite, and be nice to everyone." This idea that guides Dana's life is at the heart of her mentorship program. She thinks that everyone has the power to make the world a better place, and she takes every chance to help other people grow as people. Besides her work as a guide, many people respect Dana's ability to keep things in balance. Dana has shown that women can be successful without giving up their values by fighting for their rights at work, dealing with huge pressures at the White House, and going through hard times as her husband's guardian. This makes her an inspiration to many women, giving them faith in their own paths. Dana's books, like in The Good News Is and Everything Will Be Okay, show this balance even more. Besides telling stories about her life, these books also give young women who are looking for confidence and direction in life something to think about. Dana talks honestly about the hard things she's had to go through, like being insecure about her education among high-class workers and learning how to stand up for herself. Her book stories and lessons have motivated and encouraged a huge number of people, showing them that success isn't luck but hard work and determination. Dana's impact isn't just her personal accomplishments, it's also how she used them to build a community of support, especially for young women. Dana has given others the confidence to face challenges through programs like Minute Coaching, lessons based on family, and encouraging messages. Her story is a powerful example of how strength, kindness, and balance can live together, giving people who are looking for their own ways a way to find them. Even though her job as a host on Fox News is very demanding, Dana Perino still finds joy and meaning in the things she loves. She lives with her husband, Peter McMahon, in Bayhead, New Jersey, which they both love as their true home. They also rent an apartment in New York City so that they can be close to work, but Dana has said many times that New Jersey gives them the peace and closeness they value. In an interview, she said Dana's greatest loves books and animals grow in the peaceful setting of Bayhead. She gets a lot of energy from being by her bookshelf or walking her dog, Percy, along the shore. These activities also help her balance the stresses of work and personal life. Her love of books has become a big part of who she is. Through her show Dana Perino's Book Club, she not only talks about her favorite books, but she also leads deep conversations with famous authors, building a community of readers who are active and interested. Everything Will Be Okay is one of the books she has recommended to a lot of people. It gives young women who are going through hard times hope. According to what fans have said, a lot of them not only read the show's lessons but also use them in their own lives. Fans will also remember Dana's book, Let Me Tell You About Jasper, which is a heartfelt ode to her beloved dog Jasper. Even though Jasper died in 2021, Dana will always love animals. Since then, a Hungarian Vizsla named Percy has joined the family. He brings new joy and fills the space that Jasper left behind. But sometimes Dana's life is peaceful, but not all the time. As a well-known Fox News personality, she often gets criticized for her political views. Some people say she supports the Republican Party, which starts heated arguments on social media. During the second Republican presidential debate in 2023 at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library, Dana got people's attention by stressing how important it was for the other candidates to stop former President Donald Trump from getting the nomination. People had different responses to what she said. Some said she was subtly supporting Trump. In any case, Dana has never been afraid of such problems. Instead, she walks up to them calmly and with good sense, and of ideas that help us get better. Under the stress of work and public criticism, Dana stays balanced by spending time with her family and pets, who are the things she loves most. She gets the most inspiration and comfort from spending time with Peter and Percy. Whether it's a quiet walk on the beach, an evening with a book and Peter, or an interesting talk at her book club, these things not only make Dana feel better, but they also remind her how important it is to have connections and a purpose in her life. So many people are deeply moved by Dana Perino's story after the long and inspiring path we've been on together. Even though her job as a top host on Fox News is very demanding, Dana has given her husband Peter McMahon her undying love and care while he has been dealing with serious health problems. That's not all to Dana's story, it's also a powerful lesson in how to balance work and family life, beating problems with strength and compassion. Let her journey tell us that love and faith are the things that keep us strong, no matter how hard life gets. We wish Dana and Peter the best and hope they keep writing their touching story of love and loyalty. Feel free to subscribe if you like this story and want to see more interesting videos. That way you won't miss a single one.